After a long wait, today finally arrived. The day when Park Yin would fully belong to Jeon Jungkook. The wedding reception was held as grandly as possible. Once upon a time, they were both students on the same campus. Jungkook was the cold senior that Yin had long admired. But when Yin dared to confess her feelings, no one expected Jungkook to accept her love. Yin thought their wedding would be celebrated extravagantly. Yes, their wedding was luxurious but not extravagant. Her intention to invite A-list celebrities was dashed because Jungkook refused to allow the event to be attended by many people. When Yin asked, Jungkook only replied, "Too dangerous." That was all that dampened her spirit to see her favorite celebrities at her wedding. Perhaps Yin didn't understand. Jungkook's real reason was because the arrival of celebrities could create a deceptive atmosphere and diminish vigilance. As for Jungkook, no one knew he had many enemies. That's why, instead of hiring celebrities, he preferred to deploy dozens of his men to stand guard. Not many of them looked like real guards because half of them Jungkook ordered to blend in as if they were guests. "Jungkook, I'm tired. When will this event end?" "Just a little longer, baby. They're your guests too, aren't they? Respect them." Jungkook gently held her hand, trying to reassure her, while Yin still pouted. Jungkook smiled fondly and finally caressed her cheek gently, causing Yin to close her eyes, enjoying her husband's gentle touch. Seeing his wife so enchanted by his touch ignited his instincts. He then leaned his face towards her face, slightly tilting his head to have more freedom to carry out his action. Yin, unaware and still closing her eyes, remained silent. With only an inch left, his lips were about to meet her plump lips. But before he could land his lips on hers, a noisy commotion suddenly erupted. "Oh my, oh my, oh my, hey, Mr. Jungkook, hold back your desires a bit." Mina shrieked in excitement upon seeing Jungkook and Yin almost kissing. "Oh my goodness, Mr. Jungkook is very impatient, Wow, even before any guests have left, you're already eager to show affection. Can't you restrain your lust for a moment, Meanwhile, Yin immediately turned her face away out of embarrassment. As for Jungkook, he simply looked at his two friends and his wife's friend with a blank expression. The wedding party is over. Now they are both in the hotel room. "Jungkook, where's my phone?" Yin asks while drying her wet hair with a towel. She has just finished showering. "I threw it away." Jungkook answers without looking at her, opting instead to focus on his laptop displaying his new business data. "What? How could you throw away my phone?" "It's easy. I threw it from the balcony. If you want, you can still see the remains of your phone down there." Jungkook replies casually, still not looking at Yin, his eyes fixed on the screen in front of him. Hearing this, Yin immediately rushes to the balcony and indeed, from here, from their room's balcony on the second floor, she can see her phone lying shattered below. Yin messes up her hair in frustration. She then returns inside with an angry glare at Jungkook. "Why did you throw away my phone? How am I supposed to communicate with my friends, He glances at her briefly, sighs, then closes his laptop. "I already told my assistant to buy you a new one. It's on the table, your new phone. You can use it and it's far more advanced than your old one. But why throw away my phone? It wasn't even scratched. It's still perfectly fine. Do you think I don't know that you have a lot of men's phone numbers saved?" Yin messes up her hair again, shaking her head in annoyance. "So what? What's the problem? Are you planning to cheat on me, I even know some of them are your EXEs who could try to steal you away from me at any time." Jungkook stands up from his seat and walks towards the bathroom. "You're insane. How could I possibly cheat when you turn into a demon just from glancing at other men?" She wanted to scream those words, but she couldn't muster the courage, afraid that her husband would become even more daring and crazed. Yin sighed in frustration as she sat down on the bed. "Oh my god, it's only been a few hours since we became husband and wife, but he's already possessive to the extreme, even worse than when we were dating." Not long after, Jungkook emerged from the bathroom with only a towel wrapped around his waist, covering his private area down to his knees. Yin involuntarily turned her head upon realizing that Jungkook had finished showering. Instantly, Yin's eyes widened in shock at the sight before her. His body glistened from being wet, illuminated by the room's light. His wet hair dripped water down his toned abs with six-pack, making him appear even sexier and more tempting. "Shut your mouth, baby, or you'll choke when a mosquito flies in." Jungkook smirked thinly while running his hand through his wet hair. Yin, realizing her reaction, immediately closed her mouth and stopped staring at him. Several minutes passed. After finishing his business, Jungkook walked over to the bed where Yin was already asleep with her back turned to him. "Are you asleep?" Jungkook asked softly, greeted only by her soft hum. Understanding that his wife was exhausted, he smiled gently and lay down beside her. Following her position, he easily wrapped his body around hers. "Sleep now. I know you're tired. We can do it another time." he said softly, then kissed her ear gently. Who would want to do it with a maniac like you tonight? I might wake up paralyzed tomorrow morning because I was ravaged by you all night, crazy. Let's just continue with my pretending to sleep act. Eventually, both of them drifted off to their respective sweet dreams. Occasionally, his hand would unconsciously wander to her soft chest area, disturbing her sleep slightly. But because she was already sleepy, Yin closed her eyes again and pretended not to notice her husband's naughty hand. The next day, they immediately went home to Jungkook's house, which his parents had prepared for their new life together. Jungkook's brows furrowed in confusion as he sat up, the morning sunlight filtering through the glass window of his bedroom. He slowly recalled that he wasn't sleeping alone anymore. He reached out to the space beside him, but his expression turned puzzled when he didn't feel the presence of his newlywed wife of only 2 days. He opened his eyes fully and immediately rose from his bed. Yin was nowhere to be found in the bedroom. However, he caught a whiff of a burnt smell in the air. Not wanting to waste any time, he quickly went downstairs after putting on his shirt. His eyes widened as he saw the kitchen in disarray, with smoke rising from one of the pans. Meanwhile, Yin was struggling to salvage her cooking. She didn't even realize that her food had been burned for quite some time. Ugh, it's hot. Yin winced as she spilled the soup she was making onto her foot. She looked up to see Jungkook throwing the pan she had used harshly. Who told you to cook, huh? Yin jumped in surprise, but also felt scared when Jungkook yelled at her like that. Answer me, Yin. I asked you. Who told you to cook? Look at this mess you've made, and your foot is blistered. Jungkook, I was just trying to be a good wife, but why are you yelling at me? Ugh, I asked you to be my wife, not my maid. Do you understand? Forget it. Where are the maids? Jungkook asked, his anger subsiding. He looked around the kitchen, wondering why none of the maids were present. I asked them to water the plants in the backyard flower garden. Yin bowed her head, tears welling up in her eyes. She had been holding back her tears, but now they flowed freely. Why haven't they come inside the house yet? How would I know? I just wanted to cook. Rose said if I didn't cook for you, you might find another woman who can cook and leave me. Her cries turned into angry outbursts, shocking him. He rubbed his face roughly. It turned out that it was her friend who had put such thoughts into her mind. Then slowly, he pulled her into his arms, gently stroking her head. Shh, I'm sorry. I was just really worried about you. I didn't mean to yell at you. Now, stop crying. I'm truly sorry, okay? Yin nodded silently against his chest. Then, she felt herself being lifted as he carried her bridal style back to their bedroom. Arriving in the bedroom, Jungkook gently lowered her onto the bed. He then reached for his phone on the nightstand and immediately called Kai, his personal assistant. Kai, clean up the mess in my kitchen. I want it back to its original state. And one more thing, contact Bam Bam and have him come to my house immediately. Without waiting for a response from Kai, Jungkook ended the call. 1 hour later. Wow, your husband is really over the top, huh? Just a minor burn and he's already calling me. Bam Bam was Jungkook's friend who happened to be a doctor. He had always taken care of Jungkook's and his parents' health. Please forgive my husband. He tends to be excessive. Hey, why are you apologizing to him, baby? Bam Bam, you should be thankful to me because you're still needed. At least your bank account is growing, right? Jungkook retorted, and Bam Bam just rolled his eyes lazily, knowing his friend could be a bit crazy. Yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, Jungkook just hissed in annoyance as Bam Bam didn't respond much to his jab this time. Alright, all done. Bam Bam said cheerfully, as he finished wrapping Yin's foot. Do I really need to be wrapped up like this? I mean, it's just a minor burn and not that serious. Yin felt uncomfortable with her foot being wrapped up like this. Who knows? This is your husband's order. Bam Bam replied, emphasizing the word order to take a jab at Jungkook, who was standing nearby. Jungkook glared at Bam Bam sharply, while Bam Bam just pouted in response. Yin could only sigh resignedly. Debating with Jungkook was futile. It was already difficult to reach a draw, let alone win. Several hours later. What did you just say? Rose exclaimed on the other end. Yes, currently, Yin and Rose are chatting on the phone. Ugh, I don't understand either. Jungkook said he asked me to be his wife, not his maid. Basically, I'm not allowed to cook. Annoying. Oh, my gosh, that's terrible. He's so possessive, to the point where you're not even allowed to cook. So, what do you think, Rose? Can Jungkook still cheat? Have you two had your first night together? Yin shook her head, remembering they didn't do anything that night. Realizing Rose couldn't see her shaking her head, Yin responded dejectedly. We haven't done it yet. What? Oh my gosh. Yin, how come? How come? What? I was too tired that night, and besides, I wasn't ready. Did you reject him? You could say that. Oh my gosh, you're so silly. Hey, Jungkook is a normal, mature man. He definitely has his biological needs as an adult man. Is that so? Well, of course. Yin, I'm worried that if you keep rejecting him, he'll do it with someone else. No, I don't want him to do it with someone else. Yin's eyes widened and she shook her head vigorously. Alright, then do it soon. Trust me, Yin, it's just painful at first, but eventually you'll feel comfortable and enjoy it. Rose chuckled after finishing her lewd statement. Ew, it's like you've done it before. Why, of course I have. What? With who the hell? You don't even have a boyfriend. Ugh, nowadays you don't need a boyfriend to satisfy your needs, Yin. I did it with Senior Minju. What? Senior Minju? How? You're so curious. Why? Interested in doing it with Minju too? Crazy. That's like signing my own death warrant. Jungkook could push me off the top floor of his house if he finds out. Find out what? Yin's body tensed as she heard the deep voice of her husband, who was already standing at the doorway. Jungkook, how long have you been there? Yin asked nervously, her hand hanging up the phone with Rose. Since you said I might push you perhaps? Come on. Why would I do that? Jungkook sarcastically remarked as he walked towards her, who was leaning against the bed's headboard. Feeling better now? Jungkook asked, glancing at her bandaged foot. Yes. Feeling better now. Jungkook then smiled sweetly and gently pulled her nape, kissing her forehead tenderly with love. Don't make me worry again, he said after releasing his kiss, while Yin could only nod shyly. Good girl, Jungkook said, while ruffling her hair affectionately. Alright, I'll go now. There's something I need to take care of, Jungkook said as he stood up, but Yin immediately grabbed his wrist, stopping him, causing him to turn back with a furrowed brow. You have two options. Do it with her, or she'll do it with someone else. Rose's words kept echoing in Yin's mind, forming strange thoughts. What is it, Jungkook cupped her cheek with one hand. Jungkook. I'm ready, Yin said, closing her eyes nervously. Jungkook, who heard her, was taken aback but quickly composed his expression. I want to be the perfect wife, so do what you should have done to me since our first night.